Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 529. I am your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
There he is. Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Adam Vale.
How you doing?
And Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
All right, man. We are back with another one. Couple things here. So Manny is not with us right now. He is in Chicago, Chi-Towns, for C2E2, doing his comic book thing out there. So if you're in Chicago and you're at C2E2, go to Manny's Twitter at emanland, and he's got all the information of where you can find him. So should be good stuff. Maybe he'll drop by tonight. We'll see what happens. You know, some on-field reporting like he did last year. But we'll see.
Oh, come on.
There he is. He's still with us in spirit, you know. Also, you know, Brian, we don't know what's going on with him. And Brett, you know, he'll show up if he shows up. Give a shout out to Mr. Dio over there, Illustrated Dio in the chat. Barry Byrne holding it down as always. And yeah, we still got more Switch 2 news. So I'm going to try to sprinkle in some other gaming news. But yeah, again, this week was dominated by the Switch 2 news. And a lot of this stuff was, quite frankly, stuff they should have said during the actual presentation. That, like, there was like maybe 3 or 4 days of us just, you know, people just wildly speculating shit that they finally cleared up. One of the big ones, for example, was like there was everybody ran with this story that, you know, games are going to be $80 digital, $90 physical. That's not true. It's just $80 across the board. You know,
Did they got a layaway plan? Is it like a layaway plan system?
I don't know. I don't think they have that.
You put in like $20. You only play the first 2 levels. You know.
Yeah. So it's going to be stuff like that we're going to be going over. So kind of in no particular order. Let's go through it. And I think I got most of the stories. There was a lot of Switch stuff for obvious reasons. The first one, and I know Adam's very upset about this, and quite frankly, so are the rest of us. No Hall effect switches, man, for the joysticks.
They don't give a shit. They don't care. They know people are just gonna go and buy another set of Joy-Cons when they get that Joy-Con drift.
Yeah.
Ah, man, it's them being Nintendo. They're always on the cheap with their shit. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
So
And Nintendo claims that they're more quote unquote durable, but they didn't say if they have any like proprietary technology akin to Hall effect. But they flat out said no, we're not using that technology. You know, which kind of makes sense because they probably don't want to license it, right, Chris?
Well, they don't want to license it. Also, you got to watch what they say. Like, always pay attention to what they say. The statement was that, no, we've designed the sticks from the ground up, so that means they're not using the Hall effect sensors. Yeah. And then they said, but they feel really good.
Yeah, they feel good.
This is not a good statement, right? Because it's like, did you do any durability tests? Did you stress test the sticks? What was the output of the stress test? Nothing. So I agree with Adam 100%. You're going to end up like in 6 months needing like to buy more Joy-Cons. They'll just like open your wallet. Yeah, get new Joy-Cons. They're not going to offer support for it. They're going to offer you a 90-day warranty, and then that shit at 91 days you got stick drift.
Yeah, pretty much. By the way, for you guys watching YouTube, see that? That's a Hall effect switch right there, you know, on a controller.
Yeah.
It's like magnetic and stuff, very durable.
They're magnetic. You can pop them out. If anyone had an Elite controller, whether it's the Xbox or the PlayStation, you know, you could take them out and stuff like that. So it's a better quality. And you can customize your own if you want to do them, because I recommend doing it, especially to avoid damn Joy-Con drift.
Yeah. And watch like Nyko or somebody comes out with a Hall effect Joy-Con and then they sue them.
Yeah, they probably will.
Well, you know what's going to happen. I'm looking forward to this. I'm sure somebody will do it. They'll take it apart to see if they changed anything. Because remember, it was like something that had to do with the sensor. And people were putting like an extra piece of plastic or something like that to keep it going. I remember seeing this whole little thing about how to take it apart and put it back together and to fix your Joy-Con drift issue. So I'm curious to see, but someone's definitely going to take it apart to see if they actually did change anything.
In my opinion, Hall effect should be standard for controllers. There should be no excuse for that to have them, unless you're Nintendo and you're just, you know, being Nintendo, you know. So that's disappointing. Again, they say they feel. I didn't like that statement at all, Chris. They feel good. That doesn't answer my question, bro.
No, not at all. That's a non-answer.
Yeah.
So here, well, it can go two ways.
The reason people use
Nintendo feels good,
Yeah.
or the thumbsticks actually feel good. Who feels good about this shit?
Yeah, but again, it's like you said, Chris. That wasn't the answer. That wasn't the answer to the question. We are not asking for Hall effect because it feels good. We're asking for Hall effect because it's durable. They didn't mention anything about durability. Oh, it feels good. You're diverting the fucking question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
won't talk about it.
To quote Adam, epic fail.
Yeah, it is an epic fail. And if you think about it, they've never really acknowledged that there was a known issue.
They never did.
with the
That's
Joy-Con.
right. But they were sued for that shit. You know.
Yeah, they were sued for it, but they still didn't want to say there was a problem. They're like, oh no, everything is fine. It's rare. No, it's not rare. It's like I feel like everyone I know, myself included, who has had,
I had it.
has come across Joy-Con drift, and it's like, oh wow, guess what? I can't fix this shit. It's broken. You could try to take it apart, do all the other stuff, but the point is, you'll get Joy-Con drift, and that's it. You're done. You got to get a new set.
Yeah. All right. So there's that. Next thing, because one of the another misconception I was going around was that the reason the Switch 2 costs so much is because of the tariffs, right? Nintendo says it's not. That pricing, and Chris, you said this too. That pricing was already locked in well before that. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
But of course, you know, and we're gonna get to this later. That led to a Don Matrick moment when it comes to why the games are priced that. You know. But yeah, I want to talk about that. The Switch price real quick because that was a misnomer. Oh, the fucking tariffs. Here we go. No, it was already priced like that. Why was it priced that? Because Nintendo. You know, because they know.
I called this shit last year.
Yeah, you mean that that the price of that the tariffs weren't going to affect the Switch too?
No, I think
I know I'm fucking with him.
Yeah, the whole the 450 500. I said that's the sweet spot that they're gonna come with because we knew the price of these consoles are gonna blow up tremendously from the last generation, and we'll get to eventually next year. We'll probably talk about the pricing for the new Xbox and PlayStation.
Uh-oh.
That's gonna be a fun conversation.
But you know what's hilarious about this whole situation, besides what you're going to talk about, Tony?
Yeah, I'm going to bring this up to Q.
Doug Bowser said. But you notice what they did, right? So they halted pre-orders in the U.S. And they said because of the tariffs, right? But what did they also do? Pay attention to what they do because their greed is on full display. They halted the pre-orders in Canada.
I noticed
why did they do that? They did it because they don't want you to be able to go to Canada. Canada doesn't have tariffs on Vietnam or Cambodia or China. So they don't have an excuse to adjust pricing to Canada any higher.
Yeah.
But what's to stop Tony from going up to Montreal and buying a Switch? What's to stop anyone from ordering from Fry's up there or whatever? They stopped it because they don't want you to get a lower price if they adjust the U.S. prices for tariffs. They'll put the same price on Canada that they do here. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, no, that's fucked up. Dirty Death Dealer, what's going on, brothers? So, but yeah, that's how it is, and it's going to be very interesting to see how much the PS6 and the Xbox Series X2 cost now. Maybe $700 like the PS5 Pro. We'll see about that. You know, too much. You know, but yeah, we got to talk about this part. So Doug Bowser, you know, when it comes to the Switch's costs and everything, this is what he had to say. And let me know if this sounds familiar. We recognize there are some people that may not be able to afford the Switch 2 at its price point. That's why we wanted to make the other Switch platforms available. Let me rephrase that. We have another system for people who can't afford the current console. Doesn't that sound familiar? Mr. Don Matrick, where are you at, bro? You know, a little bit different because he was talking about the online aspect, but it's the same thing, bro.
Don sent him that text. He was like, "Damn, what am I gonna say about this? Yo, I got you covered. Hold on.
Read this.
Just say this.
Just put your own spin on it. No, dump it in the AI. It'll fix it up. It'll be sweet. Everybody will be cool with it. It worked for me back in the day. You know, it'll work for you too."
Jesus Christ. Chris, what are your thoughts on this Don Matricness?
Oh, I was laughing when I read that. As a matter of fact, the minute he said it, and I remember Kristen told me, "The fuck does he mean by this?" And I'm like, "I'll tell you exactly what he means." I broke it. I'm like, I said he literally. That's his. I said it. I said that's his Xbox One moment. The quote right there is his Xbox One moment. And I said this whole launch, and then his statement afterwards. You're putting. You might as well call this the Switch U at this point.
Oh,
right?
shit.
How much they fucked up. At this, I thought it was at 3DS levels where it's like, okay, the price is too damn high for everything, but now you're really digging a hole where you're incurring some brand damage, right? People
Yeah.
are seeing this. The talk online, even people see this. Like there's a few shills. Like I was having a laugh with some of the people. Like, oh well, fuck Digital Foundry. I heard from insiders that the Switch is like a mid-tier PC, and I'm like, yeah, and crack is a hell of a drug, but that's not a real thing. So he really stepped in it with that statement. Is ridiculous.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then the fact that people were defending that are equally insane. I don't know. It's just funny how these executives keep making the same stupid mistakes. We have a console for those. Like, bro.
We have a console for you poor peasants.
Yeah.
It's
Get
the
it now.
greed, man. I think it's like when they get to a certain point, and then they have their shareholders and everything. They're like, oh, let's just do this and put this horrible spin on things and just belittle people. And it's like, oh, for you simple folk, keep the old shit, and for everybody else who got the money, go get our new shit. Because we're not lowering the price. In fact, we're gonna raise the price, and you're gonna pay it. You're gonna like it.
You're gonna like it.
accept it. Ooh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna. In fact, I bet you they figure in their own heads. You know what? If we charge more, yeah, they'll be upset that they paid it, but then it'll make them want to play it even more because they gotta get their money's worth. So they're like, man, I paid $80 plus tax and tariff fees on top of that. I have to play the
Yeah,
shit
you
out of
better
this
love
game.
Mario Kart then.
You better love it. A lot of little kids, whoever does get it, that's probably going to be the only game they have for it for a long time. Besides their old games, if it works, because that's not even guaranteed. Oh, it's a mess.
Yo,
This whole
it's gonna
thing
be
is
like
mess.
when we were kids. We only get like 2 games a year, bro. That's it. You
Right,
better
that's it.
like that motherfucking game.
Blockbuster was your friend. The mom
That's
and
it.
pop shop that had games was your friend. That your buddies. Yo, you want to
Yeah.
trade? I'm not.
Yeah.
My mom said I can't trade or lend you. All right, I'll come over. We'll play it.
That's
Yeah.
it. You got to
That
get back
was
to
it.
those days now.
Mhm.
Oh, hey,
yeah.
hey, my buddy's got a Switch 2 as well. Maybe I can use this cartridge. Oh wait, it's a key cartridge.
Oh yeah, I don't even have that in the show notes. We got to talk about that. So, Carlos, is that confirmed?
Well, it's I don't know if it's confirmed. I haven't seen Hip Hop's tweets.
That's-
Oh,
yeah, no,
I don't know.
yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't know if it's legit or not.
Yeah, no, because the other thing I heard was, and again, I don't know if it's confirmed. Chris, maybe if you heard this, but apparently, a game cartridge, if you put it into a Switch 2, it's locked into that system. So if
Well,
you
I
try
said
to
this when
resell it, that's
Remember, I talked.
that
about
was the
this
issue
last
before.
week.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah,
I did say that, and it turned out to be right. That was
there
one
you
of my
go.
other predictions.
Fuck.
I said that they still do things where your system has an ID, right? You have a Nintendo account, right? You may have
Yeah.
a Switch Online account and paying them. Everything you do with your system, and they don't change, is locked to the console, not your account, which is
Yeah.
backwards. With Xbox and PlayStation and Steam, it's to your account. So if your Steam Deck blows up, your games are fine, right? Your PC dies, your games are fine. Your Switch dies, that's a different story. And they do it like that. I swear it has to be on purpose. It can't be laziness at this point. Like you are way in. It's 2025 now. You see what's happening around you. I don't care if you don't pay attention. You see how other systems work. You actually beg for Steam games. You see how they operate, and yet you're still going to do this shit. And then you make this game key card, which is a joke, right? And then you go, oh well, once the key unlocks on that system, it's locked to the system ID. Great.
Yeah.
So it's locked to that system. So if you ever lose it, it gets stolen or blows up. You're screwed.
Yeah. By the way,
You
I
can't resell
really,
that shit.
yeah, I do want to get kind of more verification on this because I'm looking at The Verge right now, and it says you can borrow and resell Nintendo Switch 2 game cards. Nintendo confirms that Switch game key cards download aren't locked to a specific Nintendo account, but are they locked to the system though?
Would
Yeah,
it be
that's
up
what-
to the person having to go to their profile and removing
Let me drop
it?
this into
That's
the
a
show
different-
notes. Yeah,
Like,
What's up?
remember that borrowing thing they talked about that it
Yeah.
disables the game on your system
Yeah,
and it puts the game on the other system. It's probably something like that. Like if you sell that game or if you lend it out, you're gonna have to disable it or delete it off your system, and then with the
Oh.
card in there, and then it triggers something to release the lock on the game card. Like, okay, the game is removed from the system. Then you can go like, here, Adam, you can borrow this game. You have to take it. You can't have it and then like, oh, here you go, Adam, borrow it, and then you keep playing it. That's not how it's gonna work.
Oh shit! Okay, it says so key cards will start up on the console or system that it is slotted into, so it's not tied to an account or anything. That's what.
Yeah, but it was
Nintendo's
never
saying.
tied to an account. That's a
Yeah,
misnomer.
no
See,
account.
it's
The
tied to
hardware.
the system. They keep saying that, and it's like it was never tied. It's not. That's not how it works now. It's all tied to the system itself. So
Yeah.
when you when you
Man.
install the game from the key card and it downloads, right? Remember, it's a download. It has to go
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
eShop, and the card is just DRM. It's just like authorizing it. Well, that authorization is locked to your system. If you take it out and then give it to someone else, it's not going to work. It's going to go, this has already been used. They know because it had to go online to
That's right.
to
Yeah.
reference it. Once you delete it off your system, you're going to delete it and restore the game key card. Then you can give that away or sell it or lend it, you know? But it's going to be something like that.
Wow.
Nintendo always trying to make things so easy, right? This is so easy.
But this
simple.
is part of their behavior. Remember, they don't want you to resell games.
No,
They've never wanted. They never wanted
They-
you to rent games. You
Yes,
know.
they wanted to kill game rentals. They hate that they lose residual income off of eBay and game shows and all this stuff. They hate that you could go to a shop. There's shops around here. I go buy classic games. They hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't like
They don't
that
like a
stuff.
Yeah.
They also don't like you creating Smash tournaments. Like Nintendo's just so anti fucking.
Oh yeah,
their
don't put on
consumers.
a Pokemon charity for
don't-
raising money for kids.
Don't do
Don't,
that.
don't you dare.
Nintendo doesn't like that. All right, another thing here. So this is from an analyst. Because one of the worries is that once the tariffs, they kind of have kicked in for fucking China, that a lot of people are afraid that the console's going to cost much more than $449. But an analyst says that Nintendo already took that into account, so he doesn't think it's going to affect anything.
That's incorrect.
Yeah.
Because we know they said in their own email, their statement, that that's why they put a hold on it,
Yeah.
because they need to take it into account. If that was the case, then the pre-orders would have
Yeah.
went live at that time.
And also, because remember, the pre-orders are live in other countries.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's definitely affecting their decision. Now, I don't know where he's getting that from, but we discussed this already.
Yeah.
Well, and you agreed. They locked in that price probably last
Mhm.
September, October. They
Probably,
locked in
yeah.
that price. Guess what? The presidential election hadn't happened yet. Nobody knew there was going to be tariffs, right? Or anything like that. So how could they possibly factor that in?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so I think
You
this
know,
analyst
so-
is full of it, to be
Yeah.
honest. No, I agree with that 100%. Like Nintendo knew what they were going to charge months ago, but obviously people are just in a panic. Oh, it's because of the tariffs. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's because of Nintendo, bro. Here's another one. Everybody's talking about the C button on the right Joy-Con. Basically, I think it's useless unless you have that Nintendo subscription. It's absolutely
Chat.
useless button. Yeah, it's useless because you need to subscribe to Nintendo's online account in order to use chat. So
I
yeah,
think that's the first time. Is that the first time in a major system that there's a physical button, a physical piece on a hardware that's useless without a subscription?
I think
That's
so.
got to be a first, right?
Yeah, I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it. That's Nintendo pioneers.
Mhm, mhm.
That's crazy. That button is fucking useless. So yeah, another win for Nintendo. It's insane. Adam, the way you're shaking your head right now.
Because I just can't believe all this. I just can't believe how Nintendo. I mean, like their balls just swelled up when the Switch came out. Like, oh, it's so big. Yeah, look, we can do whatever we want. Let's just smash everything. I mean, this is crazy that they're thinking that. Oh, wow, we're gonna compete with PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X, the real power. You know what? People are gonna pay this money for. They're gonna pay all this money for these games because look at them, they look fantastic, right? God of War, them got nothing on Mario Kart. $80. That's right, take it, like it. Oh man, it's. I don't believe
Take it
people.
like it.
Right? That's what they're doing. They just shoot. Look at these sprites. Isn't this better than anything you've ever seen?
It's wild, man. So yeah, useless button. Another one here. This one's more clarification. Because we were like, wait, do you have to like buy how they have quote unquote Switch 2 versions of games? Like you have to just buy them. No, it turns out if you already own the game, you only have to pay $10 to upgrade. Because it's emulation, like Chris said.
Well, the issue was that you can't even play. What if you don't care? You're like, you know what? I don't want the upgraded version. I just want to play my good old game. You can't do it. And that's the smack in the face. And that's what they're not saying. They're saying, oh, it's just a $10 upgrade. Yeah, but I don't want to give you $10. I don't want any of the upgrade shit. Can I just play this game? It's like what that old joke. Like you go down to the milk aisle, you see all these different milks. And I was like, yo, I just want more cow fuck milk. Which one is that? I don't want the soy one. I don't want the one that came from a bean or an almond.
Almond
I just want the regular damn one that came from the cow at the farm. Can you give me that one? It's like they want to dance around with their words. It's like, oh man, all the headaches it's going to cause parents with their kids when they're like, oh, mommy, I put the game in and it's saying it needs your credit card.
That's going to be crazy. Oh, by the way, Dirty Deaf Dealer says they are going to use, Nintendo's going to use tariffs as an excuse to cause a temporary shortage. I believe that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there you go. You have to pay $10 to play your Switch 1 games.
Nope.
Nintendo.
Boss of me. Nope.
Yeah. And then related to this, Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition doesn't have the DLC expansion.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. So what? So if you have the expansion,
yeah, what if you have it?
$10? Yeah, it doesn't carry over. They're like, nah.
That I don't know. We don't want to verify that, but
that's why. That's why I was confused when I saw that report.
So how is this a Switch 2 edition if it's missing content?
It's saying that content's whack and belongs to the old console. That's what it's saying. It's too whack for the new system. Sorry.
Yeah, how do you have a complete edition that is incomplete?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That's like, oh my God, what's the game now? We were like, this game's not perfect, but here it's 100 out of 100. Like, I don't think you understand what that means.
There's plenty of games like that, man. We've seen too many of those.
It was Assassin's Creed. Some bullshit. Yeah, some bullshit site gave it 100 out of 100, and the first sentence is, "This game is not perfect." Then why the fuck did you give it 100 if it's not perfect?
Because I want other people to talk about it. Because I'm the only person to give it 100 out of 100. Thank you. Like and subscribe,
bruh. Yeah. All right. So there's that. Here's another one, and Chris, I really want your thoughts on this. Nintendo claims they're going to continue supporting the Switch 1. Haven't we heard that before?
Oh yeah. With the Wii U, when the Switch was announced and Kimishima came out right in Famitsu, we talked about this. Gave that big interview and said, "Oh, we will continue to support the Wii U well into the life of the Switch." And what did I say on that throwdown? I said he's fucking lying to you, and guaranteed. Watch in a month. I said by the holidays of that year, it was like 2016.
Yeah.
So by the holidays, the Wii U manufacturer would probably be shut down. And you're not going to be able to find a system. And what happened? January 2017, the Wii U was done. But
with this one, though, they got big games still coming to the regular Wii.
Yeah.
I mean, the Switch, the Pokemon game, there's no release date, but they said that's still coming. I think Metroid is still listed as a version of it coming. So
they'll slow it down. Like, you're going to find it there because we see all the stuff they're doing, all the moves they're making. Why wouldn't they just make the Switch harder and harder to get months into the life of the Switch 2? They're gonna shut down production, just go whatever we have in the market, that's what's left, right? Yeah, they continue to support it because it's like how many systems are out there, right?
Oh,
And
there's
they're
going to be plenty
100
more on
and
eBay
something.
and GameStop once the new one comes out. I'm sure a lot
Yeah.
of people are just going to try to sell their stuff to
Yeah.
afford it.
So they're just gonna be like, oh, you just have to deal with what's in the market. But we have this new thing, right? So don't ever believe when they say that. They're not gonna support the system. Their idea of support is not what you think. You think they're gonna support them producing and making the original system. It's not. It means that they're just gonna put their efforts in the new system to support the old games.
I wish we didn't have copyright shit. I want to play Enough's Enough's the new. Remember that song?
Yeah, so this is what Bowser says. We have an install base for the Switch of 150 million plus units. We'll probably announce something more on May 8th when we have our next earnings call. We want to keep those players engaged. Not all of them may be ready to jump to Switch 2. That's what he says, Chris.
Right, but it's like, okay, you have an investor call on May 8th. Right? And what are investors going to expect? The next month you're launching the Switch 2.
Yep.
They expect a turnaround in 90 days that this is blowing the Switch out of the water right out the gate, right?
Did they announce any partnership for trade-ins? Like, when PlayStation did that with GameStop, Microsoft, I think, also did with GameStop when they announced their new ones. Like, hey, we're going to offer you some deal if you go into one of our partners, like GameStop, something like that, trade-in, you get like an extra amount off, whatever, so you can get the new one. Did they announce anything like that?
No, because there's no pre-orders yet.
Yeah.
No, I mean for the other markets, even for us.
Oh, I have no idea.
Screwed,
I'm not.
But I mean,
I have no idea. I'm not, foreigner, so I don't know. Go ahead, Carlos.
I know that in GameStop you can trade in your Switch for like $100 They
and I
but
probably
I don't know
use
that.
that as credit. That's just store credit.
Yeah.
I just know the Sony and Xbox, they were doing like a bonus, like because they were partners and trying to like help people out to get the new system. But I didn't hear anything from Nintendo for the UK. Or they say I wish Brian, our UK on location.
Yeah, our correspondent.
Yeah, our correspondent, if he was here, because then he could tell us if he saw any posters up on at his local. I forgot the name of the chain that's out there.
Curry's
Games. No, Murray's, isn't that?
No,
yeah,
Curry's.
Curry.
Yeah.
Oh, there was something else. There was something game related. Something.
I think it's just called Game.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
It's just Game. Yeah.
Just game.
Yeah. All right. Another one about Switch carts. Apparently, they will still taste bad. Just like with the original cartridges, they're designed to like taste so bad you want to spit them out because they don't want kids eating them or putting them in their mouth.
Oh.
So there you go.
Oh, they won't have to worry about it. Kids can't afford these games.
Can't afford it.
Not gonna happen. Shoot, I could see it now. A parent that buys a game as he plays it. All right, Dad, I'm done. Good. And he takes the cartridge out, puts it on the top shelf. It was like, that's it. Next time you want to play, you let me know. I will put it down.
Right next to the Grey Goose. So you can't
Exactly. That's it.
Grey Goose. Oh man. All right, here's another one. Nintendo Switch 2 will let you transfer system data from Switch 1. So that's something, because I heard like SD cards weren't being supported or something. Like it was some wild
you
shit.
You literally can't take the micro SD out of the Switch and put in the Switch 2.
Yeah, that's what it was.
They made it micro SD Express only.
Yeah.
Wow.
Switch 2.
Now, what I'm looking forward to, they mentioned it not at this showcase. It was one before that when they were showing the games at their Nintendo Direct, and they were talking about that there was this new software update that was going to come that was going to support sharing your games with other profiles on the Switch as long as the primary account is there. So like what we could do with the Xbox and the PlayStation, how if you're the primary card, you have all your digital games and somebody comes over and logs in a profile, they can play all those games. They can use PlayStation Plus because the primary is on that console. That console's linked to primary. You can't do that on the Switch. If my kids created an account and then they go to play any of my digital games, it doesn't even pop up. They don't see any of it. It's just not there. So apparently there's going to be an update to allow that as long as the primary's on it. But they didn't say anything about that in the Switch 2 Direct or any of that stuff, like to talk about software. So I'm hoping that still happens, but they said April. They said April it's going to release as an update. So we'll see if that works. That'd be cool.
So this is what it says. According to Nintendo, you can move your data from the original Switch to the Switch 2 by logging into your Nintendo account and using the system transfer feature. This will transfer your game saves, digital titles, user profile, screenshots you've taken, and other data such as your settings and parental controls to the new console. So
That's not new. I did it with the OLED. That's the same feature.
Okay.
It's just that's.
So I'm not saying it's new. I'm just saying you'll be able to transfer this shit. You know. So
but then what is
there's a website for it
won't
too.
work.
Yeah,
most of that shit won't work. That's the new shit. Though.
But yeah, there's apparently a Switch 2 transfer guide website that you could see the whole process, how it works.
They don't charge you to watch that video, like
maybe.
with the tour. No, maybe.
Yeah,
$6.
$6 to watch, and we block all your sharing screen options in your browser.
Yeah, Serial Nerfers, we talked about that, how the C button is just useless, basically.
It's the C for crap.
Yeah, what's going on, QL? He goes, "What's up, ho?" He meant to say homies, but I like that ho. I like that dog. He goes like, "What's up, ho?"
He knows you're loose, Tony. You
That's
get out there
it.
with the late.
Listen, man, 2025, got to live it up.
You only live 4 times.
Night, keep your butthole tight. Oh, man. Yo, look at Adam.
I just thought of something. I just watched. I don't want to jump too far, but you brought it up. I was watching Dark Side of the Ring. New season just started. Anyway, they're talking about this.
What that is?
It sounds crazy now to think about it. Yeah, it's wrestling related. Horror stories and wrestling. Bad stories. But I forgot the name of the wrestler they were talking about, but the wife was talking about how weird he was. And he had exit only tattooed on his butt cheek. Now, this dude is like 6'3", massive, like almost 300-pound muscle. Why would a man that big get a tattoo exit only? Yeah, no one is doing this. Like, it was so bizarre. But yeah.
Serial Nerfer goes, "I just got on, my bad." No, you're good, bro. It's all good. You can catch the rest. No, I'm not gonna say what it was, but Chris, that Dave Chappelle skit that you and me and Mike shared, I'm still thinking about that. Like, dude, show like it was like the. By the way, was that like a clip from like the Lost episodes or something? It's like I don't remember that exactly.
Yeah, it might have been from the Lost episodes.
Like other guys on Cribs, they show you their sneakers. I got a whole sweatshop. I got these bitches making shoes 16 hours a day. Yo, Chappelle, man, that show was the greatest.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I got a whole sweatshop.
Like, fuck shoe closets. I got a whole sweatshop, nigga.
Goddamn. Yeah, it was like they were like Americans when Trump imposes the tariffs. Yo, I'm literally crying right now, man. Chappelle.
It's so crazy.
And that whole, night, keep your butthole tight. That's also from Chappelle's show.
Oh, man.
Remember the Mad Real World and shit?
The Mad Real World.
The Chappelle's character, like, he goes to the white guy, night, better keep your butthole tight. And then they show Charlie Murphy looking at him.
He was his roommate when he was with the girl. The guy's girlfriend came to visit, and then he showed Charlie Murphy, like,
yeah.
Critic.
Yo, and they're like, "You had sex with Katie," and then at the end, like when the dude had enough of it, he was leaving, and then like Chappelle, he's like, "Hey, yo, dog, I fuck Katie too." Yo, Chappelle for life, man. Dirty Deaf Dealer. He goes, with this economic uncertainty going on, this is a good excuse for me to go through my backlog on PS3, PS4, Xbox 360. Yeah. Listen, you didn't have to wait for the uncertainty. You should have done it because this generation fucking sucks. I don't know if you heard the last episode. Literally, there have been 13 PlayStation 5 exclusives this generation. You know how many we had on PS1? Like 500. I'm not exaggerating, by the way. Crazy. All right, next one here. Actually, perfect segue because we're talking about the PS4. So yeah, Digital Foundry more or less confirms that that Switch 2 does perform at PS4 graphic levels. But we kind of knew that, you know. This is why you're now having last gen games on this system. You know, it's actually capable. You know, granted, it's a generation behind now, but it's something. And it's going to have, you know, features like DLSS, ray tracing, G-Sync that PS4, I don't believe, had.
It didn't have a lot of that stuff. No.
So it's a little. So they said it's like a PS4, but a little bit better. You know, which we kind of already said here. You know.
I mean, some of the games. I mean, what is it? Metroid 4 is confirmed 1080p, 120 frames per second, which is something. I mean, the PS4 never did.
Yeah, better wrap it up.
I think it's also because of the screen. So it's on the handheld. The screen supports that on that small size. I'm sure. I'm curious to see, in fact, if it supports. If you plug it into a monitor that supports the 120 hertz.
Without
still produce that.
Yeah, in docked mode though, right?
In docked mode.
I mean, they claim they
said in handheld it'll do it.
Yeah, because they claim 120 frames a second, so 120 hertz. You know, maybe we'll see.
Yeah, well for Metroid in particular, they said 4K 60.
Yeah,
docked mode. So that's.
Excuse me.
So I guess I can't. So I can't do it. Okay.
Yeah, that's what DLSS is. A certain therefore that's NVIDIA's frame generation. That's DLSS. All right, and the last thing about Switch. Another epic fail. You know how they're going to have that GameCube controller? Doesn't work with Nintendo Switch 2 games.
Only they say what GameCube game?
Yeah, it only works with the. Oh my God! So Chris, what is all this about, bro?
They did this before with the N64 controller. So it's two things. The controller only works with the games on that system that it's for. They lock it for some reason. They lock the controller that it only works with the GameCube games. And two, it only works if you have the Switch Online plus the expansion pass, so you could even get the GameCube games. Jesus. So you have a controller that literally doesn't work. Forget the C button. This thing won't work unless you have a Nintendo Switch Online account, a paid subscription.
Boy,
wow.
What a waste.
Nintendo, they're being extra Nintendo with this shit. You know, Nintendo just keeps taking L's. Yeah, no, it's been a lot of L's with this company in the last week. You know,
tag team.
Man, I remember everybody used to yell at me.
Yeah, they used to
yell at me that was critical, and now I look at Twitter and I'm like, wow, everybody sees it now. I've been saying this for years. And
people wanted to get you fired from the coalition, man. They were like, yo, fire him, cut his paycheck. You know, you almost lost your pension from this shit. Rich was like, yo, I'm not doing it.
No, Nintendo fans are nuts. Like, they screwed over Tony. Like, I mean,
yeah. They cost me a fucking job, bro.
I remember that. I remember that.
I'll never forgive that community, man. Real talk, you know. All right. So what else are we talking about here? So Nintendo epic fail. Daniel says, Kuel says, I wonder if it has 12 or 10 gigs of RAM. Again, we don't know because Nintendo even. Calm down. I went off on a rant about this last week. You go to the spec sheet on Nintendo's website where you expect I have all this information. Nothing. People think it's 12 gigs, but we don't know. We don't know because Nintendo's not telling you. Some bullshit. All right. Moving away from Switch news. Got a couple of other related stories here. There's an Xbox showcase happening on June 8th, a.k.a. E3 week. So they're going to have that showcase on Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, the usual time. And yes, we will be streaming that, Throwdown. And it's going to be followed immediately by an Outer Worlds 2 Direct, which will probably stream too. Okay, this kind of shows you how little I care about Xbox. I didn't even know Outer Worlds 2 was a thing. We probably commented on it in one ear, out the other. Why would you make a
fucking deal?
Exactly, Brett. Like, the Outer Worlds wasn't even that good of a game. Like I beat. Yeah, Rich, what is this about? I beat the game. I'm like, there's nothing special here. You know,
Damn, respect. You even played it that long to beat it.
I had to
Sheesh.
review it. You know.
Holy shit! You got the juice now, Tony.
Yeah. So, Rich, what's your take on this the Nintendo Xbox Direct?
Well, I know last year when Nintendo had their event, I actually was at that event in attendance. They had it in Los Angeles at I believe it was the same area where they had the Grammys at. So that was very interesting. And then of course, they had the Call of Duty showcase right afterwards. Now, it makes sense for them to have a showcase for Call of Duty because that's a massive game. At that point, we didn't know too much information about the game. But this here, I think they did this because they can for sure say this game is coming out later this year, because I don't think they would have a showcase and then this game is coming out next year. This is probably one of their big fall releases. That's why they're having the showcase. But I must admit, I am just as surprised as you, Tony, that this game is the showcase because I don't think this is a bigger game than a Call of Duty. So I don't. I was very confused when I saw that announcement. And the other thing is, this is a digital only showcase. I have already been told there will not be a Fan Fest event.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
So that is I'm going to actually be in Los Angeles, so that's a bit disappointing. But hey, I will definitely be on Throwdown to react with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else says Outer Worlds was fun as fuck? I'm glad you liked it. I'm not going to tell you shouldn't like it, but I was bored out of my fucking mind playing that game, man. But it is what it is. And there was another game, the Obsidian game, that was like Fallout. I found that fucking boring too, But yeah,
Obsidian one.
Avowed?
Not Avowed. The space one that was like Fallout.
Yeah.
Oh, Starfield.
No.
It was way
See,
before all of that.
This is how compelling this game was. Can't remember the fucking title of it.
Outer limit. It was something
Outer Wilds. Yeah.
Outer Wilds. There you go.
But look at the bright side, Tony. Gears of War E-Day, right? That
There
game, they better talk about that game at that Xbox showcase. That has to be there. Some update on that.
Well, Rich,
I need the collection. That's what I need.
You bring up a good point, Rich, and it inspired a question that I need to ask someone in the panel.
Uh-oh.
Adam.
Oh, snaps.
We got it. Let's be real. Let's be serious. Let's take this down to the street level.
I put my street face on.
This June 8th press conference for Microsoft, they announce a whole bunch of stuff, but they don't announce Gears 6. What's gonna happen with Adam?
That shit ain't coming out. That's what's going on. There should be posters all over the place right now. That everywhere. They should already have shit on their website. When you log into your Xbox, there should be some pre-orders or some launch trailers or a countdown clock. Just a countdown clock. Just like the way they used to do it for Call of Duty games. Remember, they would have a website, just a countdown. It would give you like months in advance. Countdown. Really build it up. Hype it up. Nothing on this. So I'm sad. I'm sad about the whole experience right now because what I was hoping for should have happened a year ago. I wanted my Gears collection. They kept saying they were working on it. We found out reports people did work on it. They're like, yeah, I did that like a year ago. I was like, where is it? Why does it take so long to put together a collection of old ass games that you have? No, they didn't do it. We still don't really know about it, but then we have this game that's coming, and that's not Gears 6, but then some people saying that it is considered Gears 6, that they scrapped Gears 6, instead went this route because there was some story issues, and there was people that left the company back and forth, coalition with the fake one, not the real, like the K one. And and they had all these issues and things going on, and it's like, damn, because this was, remember, I always bring this up when we saw that the engine, the Unreal Engine, the new one.
Yeah.
That's
5.
They did the showcase and they showed Gears. They showed Marcus, remember, walking through a cave, the lighting on his face and all this stuff. And they had a rep come out from Coalition say, yeah, we're working on this game. And when we saw this, we're like, you know what? We want the best possible experience. It's going to take a little longer, but we're going to go and import and do all this. Okay, that was years ago. We haven't heard anything from that. Instead, we get this, the E-Day, which is the prequel to all this stuff. And it's like, okay, but what happened to 6? Where's all that? Oh, we don't have anything. Sorry, my bad. Whoopsie. It's gone. So I'm hoping that we get more info, at least on the collection. We know it's out there. We know they got it. I want the date. I want to have it on all my devices. I want it on my Steam Deck. People know.
So are you saying that
Gotta have something? They gotta have something. When it comes to Gears, I mean, Microsoft has dropped the ball. They have dropped the ball with pretty much all their first party IPs. We already know the Halo. We don't need to go over that whole thing. But man, Gears, you created a whole studio just to make Gears games. And then what did we get out of it? We got a phone game. We got Gears Tactics, a tactical like the Halo RTS. And then and Gears, the proper one, they had some good points here and there and some good ideas, especially 5, some of that open world area. And there's talk that this one's going to be an open world type situation. That's what they said, because they showed the city. It's like all the stuff that's happened before. But man, there should be a lot more info coming out. A lot more news or diaries. Remember when that was a thing when they would do those director creator diaries? Just start pumping, get the hype, get everything, because we're aging out. My kid doesn't know anything about Gears. I'm sure all the kids in the teams don't know anything about Gears. So it's just the older generation that knows about Gears. It's already skipped like this whole middle part. Nobody cares. So you got to get some interest. You got to get that buzz out there, because what else do they have for when it comes to like OG IPs? They don't have anything.
Oh, don't worry, they got Fable in the chamber.
Please, that's so far back that it might as well be a whole new IP when it drops.
Well, and they also have their servings of Perfect Dark Zeros.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's been asking for that.
Both of those games, Fable definitely ain't coming out this year, even though they said 2025. That shit ain't coming. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
They're crazy.
Rich, does Gears E Day have did it get a 2025 date, or was it?
No.
There was no date.
No date. No. That's what I'm saying. It's like, why does it take so damn long to make a third-person shooter? Come on now. Just, you got a whole team. I understand. It's like,
every game takes too long nowadays, bro.
Yeah, but still, this is a whole studio developed just for it. When you do something like that, you expect, a result, a product. You can't just be like, hey, are you coming out this year? No, boss, not this year. Thanks for asking, though. It's like, okay, talk to you next year, because that's what it feels like. What else are they producing? What's coming out of the coalition? The fake one, not the real one that you heard from Rich. We got lots of coming. But what's coming out from this?
That is a phenomenal question.
Yeah, they got nothing. And it's a damn shame. Damn shame, because I know if I was an owner, a rich dude, or like a Nadella over there, and I was like, all right, well, we got this IP. Yeah, all right, we're going to put the studio together. Yeah, we're going to make some games. All right. I would be asking at least every few months. And maybe he is. He's, hey, Phil, how's it going? Oh, it's going great. It's going great. Let's talk about something else. Listen, I got Game Pass going on here. And he's just probably sidetracking. That's their only big IP left. Think about that. Halo, dropped the ball. Forza, cross-platform. We know Gears, whatever that eventually, but still, is still technically listed as a Microsoft thing. And Xboxing, even though it's been on PC still. And even that, it hasn't been all of them. They did Gears 1, a special version that had an added mission. And then eventually that came to Xbox, part of the Gears Ultimate Collection.
Yeah.
But 2, 3, Judgment, the spinoff, those never came over to PC. So it upsets me. See, thanks, Carlos. Thanks for getting me in a bad mood.
Oh, man. All right, real quick. Yeah, that's right, Tony. That's right. A couple comments here from YouTube, which I just realized doesn't pop up on the screen here, so I got to fix that. Ashley, 1963.
That was a good year.
Yeah, it was a good year. Yeah. Switch 2 is gonna flop like Wii U. Everyone hates Switch 2. Not the fanboys; they still love it. I hope Sony acquires Nintendo soon. That's not going to happen. Nintendo could probably. Who has more money? It has to be Nintendo, right? Who has more money?
Sony. Sony is a global company. I mean, they have
Nintendo.
Facets, pictures, music. Sony has a lot of different arms.
Yeah.
So they definitely have the most like cash on hand,
No pun intended.
revenue and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
But
could
yeah,
they buy Nintendo? I
no,
don't.
no,
I don't think they would ever
hatred.
sell.
No, they're not
Well, no,
selling
they-
it,
yeah.
and the hatred that they have between each other not gonna happen in a million years. You know?
And I don't think they have the reserves to
Yeah.
buy some.
No, they
company
don't. They
that
don't.
size.
They can't
No.
afford it. They
They're
can't
they're
afford
they're
it.
way more they're way more closer to each other than, for example, Microsoft, which is like Jupiter compared to Pluto.
Yeah.
But
True.
But
If
Sony
So are you
definitely is
saying
bigger than-
Sony and Nintendo are like Earth and Mars in size? Like one's a little bigger.
Yeah. Sony's definitely Earth.
Yeah, Sony's Earth.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't even. But at that point, it doesn't even matter. It's all about the money. So I could see the Saudi group that's been gobbling up all these studios and sport teams and just coming in. If it ever did happen, they would buy it, and Nintendo would probably sell it to them before they sell it to another competitor like Sony or anybody else over there.
Yeah.
Tencent.
yeah. Dio says, damn, Nintendo's little brother doing better than them." Listen, we always said Nintendo created its own worst enemy when it shunned Sony like that
Yeah.
all those years ago, and now
Ripped them off. Ripped them off.
yeah, ripped them off. Yeah,
The Philips deal, created
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation.
yep. So thank Nintendo for PlayStation, their evil ways. By the way, because we still got a little bit of time, Chris, I want to ask you this question specifically because you know, like SNK, like is owned by fucking Saudi Arabia now. Like,
Yeah.
why didn't the Japanese laws prevent that from happening?
No, I don't know. I wonder if whoever purchased them in Saudi Arabia has some kind of corporate entity in Japan, and then through that they purchased them.
Yeah,
Right. So if they have a holding in Japan and then buy them through that, but it's really controlled by the Saudis, then it's still legal. They can't do anything about it.
I thought it
That's
was
what-
all just hatred for the West. That they were cool with selling to other companies in Europe and other parts of the world, but not the West. That's what I thought.
Who specifically SNK?
For any, for,
No,
yeah,
Japan,
for
Japan.
Japanese, for
No,
Japan,
no,
for when
Japan.
it comes
Yes, they're very nationalistic and whatnot. But lately, things are changing over there. There's a lot of stuff going on with Japan and the government. I mean, they actually like want to bring in foreign workers and stuff.
damn,
They
that's
wanna-
crazy.
Yeah.
What?
So there's a lot of change.
The
happening there.
population's
But
going down,
hospitals-
man. They need it.
Yes,
You know.
their birth rate
They
is,
do.
is
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
huge decline.
Well, people are too busy buying those stinky panties in the vending machines instead of, you've heard that, right? Those
No, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, but
Yeah, they do that.
got 'em.
Japan's special, man.
Yeah,
Oh, who's this in the chat? Emilio Lopez.
I met him on Craigslist.
Didn't SNK go out of business? They did go bankrupt in like like late 90s, early 2000s. Then Playmore bought them. Remember SNK Playmore and all that? But then like the guy who created SNK bought them, bought SNK Playmore, just named it SNK, and then the fucking Saudis came in. The fucking Saudis came in. But here's the thing. I have my problems with that, but they kind of saved SNK too, So SNK was not doing very well. And now they have
who
enough
owns
money.
Neo Geo?
That-
Because remember, it was Neo Geo and SNK for a while. Those collections. It would say
Yeah.
Neo Geo SNK. So is SNK own the Neo Geo name now? Or?
Isn't that the way it's always been? Don't quote me on it. I always thought Neo Geo belonged to SNK.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so I don't know about that, but yeah, but yeah, this is why you have fucking Ronaldo in fucking City of the Wolves because of the Saudis. It's crazy. All right, all right. Next story. Star Citizen, a game that has not been released, has already raised $800 million after 13 years. It's still in alpha. That is crazy. This is the biggest grift in gaming, bro. We said this many times. The biggest grift in gaming, right there. And
Wiles.
I'm still in for Deep Down.
yeah, I'm still waiting for fucking Starfield.
Think about the
That's
people
what
that
Starfield,
work
yeah.
on that project. Like, let's say if you worked on that project, and you're going to family get-togethers, hanging out with friends, people getting married, having kids. Years are passing, graduating from school. Hey, Tony, how you doing? What have you been doing? Working on a game. Oh, which game? The one that I worked on a few years ago. You still working on that? So, yeah, you getting paid? Oh yeah, I'm getting paid.
We're getting paid.
Oh yeah, we getting paid. He was like, damn, everybody's doing stuff. I mean, is that ever gonna come out? I don't care. I'm still getting paid though.
They could shut this project down now, and they'd be
That's
insanely fucking rich.
That's wild.
This is I've said this many times. They make more money keeping this shit in alpha than actually releasing it. If they release this game, it will not make as much money as it already has. You know?
They're fleecing everyone. Don't be surprised if we come back to this in like a year or two and we're saying they hit $1 billion.
Oh, yeah.
It's still in alpha.
It's
It's
fucking
never finished.
a game made specifically for whales. It's crazy.
Maybe they forgot. Maybe they forgot. It's like, yo, we still listed as alpha. Whatever.
Yeah.
They're paying. They're buying.
Versions 4.0 of the alpha was released in 2024. Of the alpha? What?
Yeah.
That's insane. So yeah, biggest grift in gaming. There you go. Where's Perfect Dark that was announced years ago by Studio Initiative? Who the hell knows, bro?
It's in the dark.
Yeah.
No, keep it there.
Yeah, you know.
Joanna Dark looks like Brock Sampson. I was like, no, put it. Work on that. I thought the Fable reveal was bad.
Give that shit to a Chinese company, please.
Yeah,
you know?
right?
All right. And the last story here, kind of related to the last one. PC gaming gained more players than consoles in 2024. The tide is shifting, people.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but one thing I'm curious about, because this report doesn't say which consoles went over the most. Or, it's like, I'm going to assume, it's just me speculating. I got no data on this, just going with my gut. Xbox, guys. They're like, listen, if our game's going to be on PC anyway, let's just go to PC. That's what I did, So that's just my speculation. But, yeah, PC has grown more. PC gaming has grown more than consoles gaming. That's crazy, bro.
It makes sense because of the handhelds. The PC handheld
that's
market
right.
has exploded.
Yes.
So it's like, it's not so much of before. It was always a running joke. Oh, I don't know how to build a PC. I don't know how to get the graphic. I don't want to deal with all that. Well, when you get these handhelds, pretty much, at least on the Steam OS, you really don't have to deal with those. Yeah, I get on the ROG stuff. They have Windows, and you still get, like you said, you get the pop-up still for update. But most of the time, it's pretty seamless. It's just like, download the game, play the game.
Yeah, Steam Deck.
Just like you would on Steam Deck, like you would on a console. So it makes sense that people
but
are
remember,
jumping on.
The handhelds, in my opinion, I don't think they've made that much of an impact because they've only sold 6 million total. All of them, including Steam Deck.
So,
And that sounds bad, but think about it. That market didn't exist 3 years ago. So it's gaining traction, I know motherfucker, what about Ioneo? We're not counting them. They've been doing their own thing. But yeah, it says right here.
For a long time. They were expensive too.
Yeah, PC player numbers rose 3.9% year over year from 873.5 million to 907.5 million in 2024. Console players growth, on the other hand, while still up, only grew 2.3% from 615.6 million to 629.5. So console grew, but not on the level of PC. Makes sense to me. I mean, I don't know how things are going to be now with, the tariffs and everything, but, you could still kind of get a decent enough gaming laptop or PC for not that much, It's not going to be high end or anything, but you can get some good stuff, especially with laptops, You could have a pretty good experience. But yeah, I kind of want to
play it in the cloud. If
you
they
could
count
do that
like
too.
The GeForce Now and stuff like that, or depending on the tier, you're running on a high-end PC, just remote, so you don't even need that type of performance on the hardware side in front of you.
No, you don't.
Stream it over. Just have good internet.
And also, we've talked about this before, how a lot of kids are more interested in PC gaming than console gaming because their favorite streamer uses a PC.
And they're modding and they're showing. Oh man, you don't understand. When Breath of the Wild, when there was these dudes doing the mods and doing all that stuff and then changing things, and they were adding all this crazy stuff. My son's watching, like, I want to do that. I'm like,
See?
well, they had to mod it on. How can we do that? I don't want to. He was younger. He was crying up a storm. He wanted to throw his Switch out the window because he couldn't do any of the stuff these dudes were doing. He's like, oh, they have all these cool vehicles. He's making whatever. He was just going nuts.
That's funny. That sounds like a PC gamer in the making.
That's it.
Does he play Fortnite? Oh no, he plays on PlayStation.
Oh, he plays Fortnite PlayStation. His games is FC, plays FC, Fortnite, and that's pretty much it. Those are the two games he's always playing.
Yeah,
a lot of Fortnite.
Soon it's gonna be Fatal Fury because Ronaldo's in the game.
Oh yeah, he was hyped when he saw that video. He was like, "Oh, gotta do it."
There you go,
Ronaldo.
Yeah, you saw the super move and shit.
yeah.
There you go. Well, Adam, there you go. Well, I mean, you knows how to play fighting games. You probably taught him.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. I sent Chris a video when Chris sent me a fight stick, the one that he had a tournament one because I had one, and then I put it in his hands, and he loved it. That whole feeling.
Awesome.
He'll be good. He'll be good then. What's going on, Otaku Man? As always, you're showing up just as we're wrapping up. Love it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Let us plug some stuff. Adam, what's going on with TV Terminal?
TV Terminal, that's right. It's a new channel over on YouTube. You can check it out along with my co-host, Punk with Toys, and we're covering Mobland, which is awesome. That's the show with Tom Hardy and stuff. It's a good show. A lot of action, mobster stuff. And then kicking off with The Last of Us. We're going to be covering season 2, myself and a very special guest. Very special guest, and we're going to be covering the whole season also on the TV Terminal. So check that out, and let's see what else we got. Got some other stuff. I think Rich will fill that in. We got a lot of stuff going on over at the Coalition. But yeah, that's what's going on. More Mobland season episode 3, and then of course The Last of Us season 2 we're going to be covering. So
yeah, also related to The Last of Us, they already announced season 3, but no Last of Us Part 3 for video game. No. Very interesting. Proving my
we already
point.
know. I don't know if you heard. They already said what it was, though. They said that they broke up the game into 2 parts. So I'm assuming that third season is going to be the Abbey.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's it. Because they already had said it. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do 3 seasons." Well, what are you gonna do? Well, we're splitting up because there's a lot that happens. I mean, it is a big game. Last of Us 2 is big, whether you like it or not, for what you were doing for the rest of it. But it is pretty big, and so I'm thinking, it makes sense. You split it into, and
Yeah. And Rich, what's happening with the Coalition this weekend?
So myself, Dana, and Gary, we will be reviewing the next episode of Power. That, once again, will be out tomorrow. Aside from that, I'm actually working on a lot of previews and reviews. So I probably will not be posting anything this weekend, but next week, there's going to be a ton of things getting posted. But 2 quick things I will mention, because I did post some stuff this week. If you're looking for some thoughts on 2 particular games, I recommend going to thecoalition.com. One of those games is this indie game called Out of Sight. I spoke about that game briefly here on the show because it's one of the games I saw at GDC. So I have a preview for that on the website right now. I also want to mention there is another game coming out later this month that I will be reviewing that I previewed. It is this game called The 100-Line Last Defense Academy. All right, I know that sounds like it's a lot of words. Yes. But if you are a fan of, I believe it's that, it used to be an anime and / video game, Danganronpa.
Danganronpa.
The guy who created that created this. This is a new game. It's coming out later this month. And I have a preview on the website. Also, it's a mix of that, and it's also a mix of Persona because it's like a high school type of setting. The game is awesome. All right, that's what I can say because I have a preview up right now. I'll have a lot more to say when the review drops sometime later this month. But if you do want some opinions on those games, check out thecoalition.com and stay tuned because there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff going up next week that I can't really talk about. But stay tuned.
Got those secrets.
Adam, are you guys on YouTube?
Yeah, the TV terminal.
Because I'm
Go on
looking it up.
YouTube.
I can't find it.
Yeah, you type in one word, the TV terminal.
The TV. Okay, because people in
the
people in
TV
the chat are asking for the link.
Yeah, the TV terminal. You'll see it. It's there.
All right, let's see if I can.
We got
there it
2
is.
episodes.
Yeah,
we
there's 71st of Continental. All right, perfect. So let me drop
we got
that here.
We got 2 episodes. The first one did pretty good. We're over 1,000 views on that one. We're doing well on the other one. So yeah, subscribe, follow, keep it up. It's gonna be dope. We're gonna be covering a lot of stuff. Man, I can't wait for The Last of Us 2. I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to talk about it. What is gonna be garbage? They said they changed some things. They said they want to tweak it. They didn't want to go word for word, scene for scene from the game. I beat it. The person who is my special guest also completed it. So we're gonna dive into that. And you know what? That's right. Forgot to give this other little shout out. So since it makes more sense to drop it here, and I told you guys off air, it's not a secret anymore. So Sony liked my review score on it, and they're going to be putting the Coalition and our review score in their promotional ads for promoting the Last of Us Part 2. So if you see Coalition on there, and I think it was a 4 out of 5, it gave it that. That's me. That's me, peoples. So yeah, so it's going to be cool. So I'm excited. I enjoy that game. I mean, it's got its issues. No game is perfect. I don't care what the other guy said about that Assassin's Creed. 100 out of 100 smoking crack rock. Ridiculous. No game is perfect. Sorry, people. This doesn't work that way. But it's fun. And I'm really excited.
That's what I forgot to talk about during the show. The Last of Us Complete Edition. How many times are they going to sell us this fucking game, bro? Or games, I should say. Do you hear about this?
Do you mean? Another one. They're going to keep selling until you stop buying. That's how that works.
Last of Us Complete Edition, Adam. And this is not an April Fool's joke. It is on Sony's blog right now. There's a video for it and everything. Like, it's both games in one collection. Rich, what is all this about, bro?
So my comment, what I believe is, again, with the show coming out this weekend, Sony is trying to capitalize on that by saying, well, if you didn't play the first game and the second game, we have put this little collection together for you to check out. Now, if I was Sony, instead of doing that, I would have had a massive sale on Part 1 and Part 2 starting this entire week. Forget about this collection thing, because they got to understand when they put a trailer like that
$109, bro.
Yeah, no.
What?
See, they got to understand.
Is this gonna have like behind the scenes stuff, Tony?
I have no idea. It's a video game.
Talks and, No, but usually the extras is always that type of stuff. Like, it's talking with the directors and the voice actors, and they talk about how they got emotional.
I have no fucking clue, bro.
No, it's just the what they've already released for Part 1 and Part 2. And to me, again, I think if you would have just had a massive sale on the first and second game, that's good enough, because it's on PC. This is specific to PlayStation 5 for people who have a PlayStation 5 if they want to play it. But again, it doesn't really give a. I know we've said before that Insomniac has been carrying the load for Sony this entire generation. So Naughty Dog, they have to know. They have to be aware we have not really put out anything really this generation. So somebody has to know that kind of looks a little silly. I mean, they're not
question.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, right. It is. Yeah, it's a question for you. Wait. Is the multiplayer back?
No,
because remember they no, and it's not the complete edition, because
they scrapped that multiplayer long ago. They never.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you're gonna say the complete edition, you got to turn that server. You got to dust it off. You got to plug it in and press the power a few times and let Windows 98 boot up, and then let everybody play the multiplayer. Bring it back.
Yo, look at the way they're marketing this shit, bro. Experience the complete story that inspired the HBO show. So you know where this is aimed at.
Yep.
Wow. Featuring graphical and gameplay improvements made possible by PS5. So this is what's in it. It's a steelbook case with physical discs. So that's something. You don't get those in game. You don't get those in collections. So yeah, steelbook case with physical discs of Last of Us Part 1 and 2, Left Behind prequel chapter, The Last of Us American Dreams comic books 1 through 4, with new cover art, a set of 4 lithograph art prints, and a thank you letter from Mr. Neil Druckmann. There you
So,
go.
So yeah, I mean, I guess it's a little bit of something, but if you have a PlayStation 5 this generation, you know damn well Naughty Dog is one of the studios. They haven't really put anything out for PlayStation 5 this
Yeah.
entire generation. You can talk about the mode they added to part 2, which, you know, it's a fun mode. I know Adam played that as well, but I mean, they compared to what Insomniac has done this generation, Insomniac, clearly they are the best studio for Sony that has actually put out a ton of things this generation. So Naughty Dog, you know, we need to wait and see what they got for us. But hey, if you for some reason you never played Last of Us 1 and 2, then I guess you should check it out.
They were giving that away multiple times. I could have swore on PlayStation Plus that was like the first one, right? Wasn't it a freebie at some point? All those first party games
yeah.
were. You know what I mean? It's like, shoot, this has to be for those, like you said, with the physical stuff, right? People that want to collect and put it on the shelf and like, look,
it is a collector's edition.
You know, it's like, okay, but still $100-something, that price.
$110. Yep.
No.
So you know what we'll have to do? We'll have to see if they announce any sales for this month. You know, when we get into May, I want to see who actually buys this game, because when I saw that, I said, "Who was buying this?" You know, I mean, but hey, it should be interesting.
Yeah,
at that price, I don't know anybody.
It's crazy.
That's bananas.
Who else says, I just read that Zelda on Switch 2 won't have DLC? Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
It's whack.
Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that. It's crazy, man. All right, I'm glad we brought that up, because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that story. That's kind of crazy. They're re-releasing these games again. And the fact that it says in the games that inspired the TV show, that lets you know, okay, this lets you know two things. The fact that they're calling...
Real quick. I was just thinking of something before I forget. What if they replace the voice actors? If they're
not doing that. They're not doing that.
The only reason why I say that, because it's been done before.
Yeah.
Gears 5 did that with Batista. He replaced Marcus, and they redid all Marcus's lines with Batista.
Yeah. This doesn't say any... I'm not saying it hasn't been done. I'm just saying this doesn't say that. Subgata, are we boosting tomorrow game night? Yes, we are. We're going to be playing... thank you. Yeah, it's your boy. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, we will be playing Monster Hunter again Friday and Saturday night. 8 p.m. Eastern, so stay tuned. And you know those streams go long, people. You know, so come check us out. What's up?
I have a quick question for you guys. Since we are still live, I'm gonna put y'all on the spot. So, who here is actually going to watch this marathon stream on Saturday? Because from what I understand, that is a phenomenal question. Yeah. Richard, you make a very good point, because what I don't understand is, why the hell? I've never heard of a gameplay reveal happening on a Saturday.
Yeah, that is marathon the game. Yeah, that is weird.
They're trying to bury it. That's what it tells me.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Rich. That's I forgot to talk about that too.
That's a good question.
Yeah, and in the chat, is anyone going to watch this? Are you excited? I guess because we kind of have to on Throwdown. We will keep an eye on it. And obviously, you know, Throwdown fans, if you watch it, please ask us questions for the Sunday show. We'll happily answer them. But I'm curious about this game, because it just seems to me like it's going to be another Destiny clone, you know?
Destiny clone.
It's crazy, man. The things I want to say about The Last of Us. Two things. Complete edition. One, that they are not planning on making a third game, because this is the complete edition. 2 games and that's it, you know? And also... I already forgot what my other point was, but that was the main one. Adam threw me off. The main one was it's a complete edition because they're not making any more games. You know. That's the second point. The other point was like the games just exist now as the vehicle to promote the show. That's all it is. Neil Druckmann has met his he's basically accomplished his goal. Fuck video games. I just want to work in Hollywood now. You know, yeah. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say, just to go off of that, is like this could be the end of that story for Ellie and all the people involved for this thing. But like you said, he wants to get into Hollywood, and they'll continue, and then they'll do reverse. The next show will turn into a game. You know,
listen, it can happen.
The Last of Us, I don't know, Turkey Edition. You know, Turkey A. They changed their name, Turkey A. You know, and then some craziness happening there, or England, because that was always the thing, right? You want to go in other locations and tell a different story because it's all within the fall of man during that time.
Yeah.
The Last of Us with the zombie, so they can do it. And I'm sure HBO wants to keep producing these shows as long as the numbers are up. I'm sure the numbers will be pretty good for this one, but I'm very curious. No spoilers, people, for those who did not play the game. I'm very curious to see how they react when certain things happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be outrage again. The normies that never played the game.
It's just to bring this up because I'm upset now. Now it just brought back some triggers. So some stuff that HBO had sent to me, some info about this. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, you could talk about this and this and that. But hey, we don't want to spoil things, so we're not sharing certain things out there in the wild just yet. Okay, whatever. Whoop, close up. I mean, game came out years ago, whatever. But then IGN spills everything. They spill everything about this season and about key points. And I'm like, why do you let them do it?
Because it's
Why
IGN.
Are you letting them do exactly? And it's a double standard, and it's horrible because once people see it, and the best way I can describe what I'm thinking, and Rich knows this, and Carlos will know, is with the Glenn situation in The Walking Dead. When that happened, Glenn, that show just like I could just see people just leaning back and falling off a cliff, like like they left the show and drove. They went from 12 million to like it was mad. And they was, don't worry, they'll come back. No, because people.
No, they went to go watch Invincible instead. You know, where Glenn's still alive.
But it was such a big shock because they didn't read the comics. They didn't know the source material, so they were like, why would they do that? They took it personal. Oh, they knew I liked this character. Blah, 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 blah. So my whole thing is, I'm curious to see if something like that happens in this show.
I think it will. For you guys who play the game, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
you know the golf club. You know, go ahead, Rich.
And you make a very good point, Adam, and how HBO will market that. Simply, they will just say this: it can't be for nothing. It can't be for nothing. That's what they're going to say to get you to watch season 3. For those that they think are going to come back for season 3. But yes, that's what they're going to market.
Man.
It's crazy.
So wild.
By the way, Dio says, he goes, I'm the Destiny 2 gamer, and even I don't care about Marathon.
Whoa.
Controversial statement there.
Respect for still playing Destiny 2. I know some people that actually still play that. They jump in, they get the shades and the shards, whatever it was called. They still collect it.
Yeah, no, Dio, are you still playing Destiny 2? Because, back in the day, he was a hardcore Destiny 2 guy, you know? We'll see. I think that was all. I think that was everything. I'm glad we kind of fill out the show. There was a story I wanted to tell, but I think I may save that for another time. Oh, yeah, he's still playing it, Adam. Look at that. He's
there
still
you
playing
go.
it.
Respect.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah. Oh, it's a game you like. Play it until they turn the shit off. I still play the Division. I don't care. Sometimes I'm running around. I don't see anybody else. But you know what? I'm there, and I'm happy.
Yeah. And the last thing, plug some Throwdown stuff, obviously. Yeah, Monster Hunter, like we said, streams coming tomorrow and Saturday. And then next week, Richard and I will be telling you about some games that we've been playing, but we can't talk about. You know? Mm-hmm. One of these games specifically, unfortunately, it's not next week. After that, I feel like Hip Hop Gamer. I'm like, I want to break embargo. Remember when Hip Hop did that shit?
Oh man!
Like,
Hip Hop he said a lot of crazy shit. He's done some.
Oh, Dio, nice. Yeah. You're welcome, man. Let's do this. He's gonna join us in Monster Hunter. We played with Dio a couple weeks ago. It was fun, you know.
Okay.
And you know who else is joining us too, Adam? The voice of God, man. He's always there. You know? Yeah, we had one of our listeners, Black Soviet. He was in the chat. He was like, I heard fables of the voice of God. Now I'm actually hearing him. It's like he doesn't disappoint.
You would think he has some kind of effects auto tuner on.
Oh, black Sullivan, black Vietnamese.
Yeah. No, that's the wrong.
That's the wrong one. Yeah, black Viet. Oh yeah, but yeah, he's like, I've heard the stories. He's not disappointing me. Yo, another one, my cousin is like no filter. He just says shit we won't even say on air.
Oh yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, he's just cursed. Like, it's
should
great.
he should get into voice acting. I'm telling you, that voice can make him some money.
Yo, I said the story on air too. There was this one time, like we were at Wendy's and shit, and they had those balloons. And we're like, yo, suck on the balloon, bro. We want to see something. So he sucked on a balloon. He sounded normal. He sounded normal. You know, because my cousin, you know, for you guys who don't know, man, like his voice is so deep, you don't even hear it. You feel it. You know, it's deep.
It's like when that car's driving down the street with the heavy bass.
Yeah,
and
you
everything's
don't hear it. You're just like,
yeah, and that's what it is. It's like your headset just starts like shaking. Like, whoa, who's talking? And it's like, oh,
the voice of God. There you go.
The best reaction was when we got nerfed in Division 2.
Oh, that I've never heard.
Oh,
I've known this kid his entire life. I've never seen him that angry before. He was pissed, and he gave up. He was done. He never came back to the division.
I wish that was recorded. We didn't stream any of that. It was so cool because we were right in the front over at the White House.
Yeah.
We're all talking. He's looking. We're all looking at inventory. He's like, "Yo, my shit's missing. This is going." He's like, "I'm out," and we just see his character go. Poof.
He left.
He left the chat. We didn't talk. I think till this day, I think that's the last time I talked to him.
Damn.
I'm like, well, where'd he go? Where'd he go? He's gone. He just like turned
He
the
was
whole shit off.
pissed. I've never heard him that angry before. Resort always tight. You know, that's the way he says it. Thank you for subscribing, Dio. Appreciate that. All right, man, let's wrap it up here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Join the Discord and check us out on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Yo, thank you again for those. And if you do subscribe, then leave a comment. I'm going to give you guys all a shout out. The people that come over from the Throwdown, I love it. It's great. Thanks for the support, everybody. Have a good week, everybody.
All right. And Richard Bailey Jr.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
All right, guys. You already know we'll be back on Sunday. Drop us those questions now. Later.
Drop it like it's hot.